Okay, during the early 90s, when I was 15 years old, I spent a lot of time in the East Village. And I felt like I really blended in with the neighborhood, my oversized white t-shirt, my baggy-ass light blue jeans, and my white-on-white Air Force One knockoffs from Chinatown, looking like a homeless astronaut. But ironically, I felt like I didn't fit in. I was shy. Coming from the Bronx, I lived in a predominantly white neighborhood, and kids always made fun of me, not because of the clothes I wore, but the color of my skin. And it was naive. Coming from like an ignorant neighborhood, I did not know too much about the city nor the East Village. And Mom told me, take a class at NYU to meet new people. And I thought it was a good idea, so I picked up a brochure one day. And I signed up for an Introduction to Life Drawing course. In the effort to meet new people and hopefully learn how to draw baskets of fruits, like apples and oranges. On my first day of class, I'm 15 years old, I'm super excited. I have my overpriced sketch pad and charcoal pencils from Pearl Art Supply on Canal Street in Chinatown. Woo! Hell yeah. When I walked into class, I was completely shocked. It was empty, and all I see is this wooden bar stool sitting in the center of the room, and this bright fluorescent light beaming down on it, surrounded by wooden tables. It was kind of creepy, kind of scary. I felt like I was in a horror movie, like someone's about to get interrogated or tortured tonight. Then I see a bunch of kids walk in. They look really cool with NYU sweatshirts, Air Jordan 1s, and carrying their overpriced sketch pads and charcoal pencils from Pearl Art Supply on Canal Street in Chinatown. And 15-year-old me is really excited to be surrounded by older kids that go to NYU. And then the instructor walks in. She's this middle-aged woman with black hair, dark frame glasses. She introduces herself as Miss Wyman, and she says, please be patient, the model is on her way. And I'm confused. I'm like, model, what are you talking about? I thought we were going to spend the entire evening drawing baskets of fruits like apples and oranges. And she looks at me with this look of disgust. And she said, excuse me? Baskets of fruits? Apples and oranges? Oh boy, you are going to be in for a surprise. And everyone just burst out in laughter. I'm really embarrassed right now. I turn beet red in the face. I feel this bottomless pit in my stomach. What did I do to offend her? Then the model walks in. She's in mid-20s. She's beautiful. She's natural. She has curly brown shoulder-length hair, and her bright blue eyes goes really well for her royal blue summer dress with sea monkeys on it. As she walks up to that wooden bar stool, and I could see that bright fluorescent light beaming down on her like a star. And she takes her hands and she lifts up her royal blue sundress over her head, and I could see that royal blue sundress just fall to the floor like a feather from the sky. And I sit there and she's completely butt-ass naked. And 15-year-old me was like, whoa, she is really natural. She sits down on that bar stool. She's facing me. We lock eyes. And she spreads her legs wide open. Fifteen-year-old me just sat there and stared at it. I never expected it to look like that. Holy shit, 15-year-old, naive and shy kid from the Bronx, never expected it to look like an overripe, half-unpitted peach. And as I continue to stare at it, take a deep breath, everyone. You're in for a ride. I felt a hand on my shoulder and a whisper in my ear. And the instructor says, David, you should not just focus on our inner beauty, but our outer beauty as well. I look up and the model is staring dead at me. She caught me, staring at her overripe peach. And everyone is giggling in the class. And all I want to do right now is curl up in the fetal position and die under my overpriced sketch pad. But what I do instead is I take that charcoal pencil and start scribbling in my notepad. And towards the end of class, she asked each one of us to come up to the front and explain our drawing to everyone. And she said, David, why don't you start it off first? And I literally felt like I just got shot in the chest. Pins and needles are running through my veins as I walk up to the front of that room, and I can feel that bright fluorescent light beaming down on me. Beads of sweat is running down my head onto my face. And I prop up that sketch pad on that wooden bar stool. And everyone just stares at it with a blank expression. It's this huge black dot. And it's the best I can do. And 15-year-old, naive and shy me takes a deep breath, and I'm like, oh, this is my interpretation of staring down the Grand Canyon. Everyone's glazed look turned to a frazzled and disgusted look. And the instructor says, David, brilliant. And everyone applauds for my quick wit and humor. And I felt like a rock star. I finally blended in like a basket of fruit. Although this was my most bizarre moment of my life, what I learned is, just like art, the way that we perceive things and other people is subjective and at times awkward. It's just like taking a charcoal pencil and scribbling it into a notepad. You learn more about yourself with each stroke. Thank you.